In Kyoto, Japan, the Golden Pavilion is known for its architectural beauty and reflecting pool. Inside that pool, though, is a hidden gem, these koi fish. In Japan, they're known as the jewel fish, prized for their beauty and the relaxation of looking at them swim peacefully.
Koi are a relaxing thing. Watching fish swim is a peaceful serenity idea. The beauty and art on top of that makes it all the better. So, and it's one of the things why they've been strived to make it this absolutely beautiful thing swimming in a body of water.
That's Kyle Loveland, the manager here at Purdin Koi Farms in Louisiana. Today, he's giving a tour to the Louisiana Farm Bureau Women's Leadership Committee. He told the group raising koi can be difficult and, like farming, takes a lot of hands-on experience.
So if we look at fish over and over and over again, and we start to see the changes that fish tend to present, especially with a lot of given lines. You know, we can see a lot of hereditary similarities from mother to, from grandmother to mother. And from that, we learn what the fish's behavior can be.
Loveland says there's definitely agriculture in raising koi. Much like all cattle ranchers or grass farmers, Loveland describes himself as a water and bacteria manager more than anything else.
The bacteria essentially consumes ammonia that the fish are producing or expunging through their waste and through their respiratory system as they breathe. It is then converted by a set of bacteria into nitrites, and then from the nitrites it's converted into nitrates, which we're then getting rid of when we do water exchanges.
Koi grow up to 3 feet long, but getting them there is tricky. He says in order for them to be considered to be prize winners, they have to get to at least 32 inches long.
The thing that leads to fish growing large is good body shape, good protein intake, healthy water quality. All of these things that year after year allow a fish to achieve its maximum potential.
Despite koi coming from Japan, they're not meant for sushi. The high-end market is strictly ornamental, with some individual fish commanding $20,000 a piece.
We like to take a small fish and grow it out for customers. We have the advantage here in this state that because we have perfectly good warm weather majority of the year, we're able to produce very large fish in a very quick and an efficient manner.
Women's Leadership Committee member Cindy Doey says she was impressed by the tour and definitely saw parallels to a rice farm back home.
We got in here and I thought we were going to see one little pond, and Kyle started showing us different ponds, and the knowledge of what it takes to grow a fish just amazed me. This facility is phenomenal.
Purdin Koi Farm ships their fish worldwide, so you can certainly get access to them anywhere you're watching this, except in Japan. Japan doesn't allow fish to be shipped back into that country to prevent the spread of foreign diseases. We'll have a link for you to their farms over on our website at twilatv.org. And Avery, I know, after watching this story, I'm sure you have questions like how many people can afford. Carl brought up an interesting video watching this, which was, this guy in Dubai who had this multi-million-dollar pond and custom pump system and all that stuff. So it's certainly for the upper end thing. It's like, the Kentucky Derby, that sort of thing. It's not for.
It's not for me. It's not for me. $20,000 a fish is just kind of outside. I mean, especially because I've yet to keep a guppy alive, okay?
Right.
We don't do well with fish of the Davidson household.
What I thought particularly was interesting is that these fish grow up to a maximum of 36 inches. But in order to be considered for championship, they have to be 32 inches or above. And then they really start, they grow well up to 24 inches, but beyond that point, it's hard to get them up above there. So you can see there's just this really narrow tolerance for pretty much their entire existence, much less becoming a grand champion fish.
So let's bring it back to Japan. You were recently in Japan, coming back and doing this story. What was that? What was that experience like? Having you see them in Japan and also see this farm here in Louisiana?
Well, you get the sense when you're looking at the koi fish that there is something to the breeding of them, that they have to look a certain way. In Japan, they're literally in ditches on the side of the road. In Kyoto, they swim they're swimming down like we had dinner at a restaurant, and they're in the ditch next to us, just swimming away. But it's not the same sort of thing, just like, a cow isn't a cow. When you're looking for top-end genetics, I mean, $20,000 for a syringe is not,
Yeah.
genetics is not unheard of for there. So it's similar in that regard. But it is interesting to see how this, sort of very niche, pursuit has turned into this global phenomenon.
Well, I love when a great story falls to the person it should. Thank you so much, Neil Melancon.